Hey there guys, what is going on? I hope you enjoyed my prior video. If you've just gotten in from tuning into that, or you should go and tune into that right now for some of the 7-inch single unboxing things I did, and a little bit of a whirlwind video back there, just to try to get caught up on a few choice things that I wanted to at least fit in before we bid 2014 a heartfelt and spotty adieu, and we move into 2015, which admittedly, I'm not going to jinx it, looks huge. We've got all kinds of amazing releases. We've got Modest Mouse is back. We've got Belone Bello, who I just talked about in my last video. They've got a record coming. We've got Butch Walker with an amazing record. We've got the Decemberists are going to be putting out a record. We've got all kinds of people saying, oh, we're going to put out a record. It's 2015, 2015, 2015 this, and this, and that. It's just, it's looking to be huge right now. And I'm just ready to close the door on things for 2014, so that way we can get into 2015 and just start knocking stuff out, reviewing some things, because there's going to be so much cool stuff. But to give you a little bit of a teaser into 2015, today in this little unboxing video, we have a 2015 release, which was supposed to come out in the early part of January, and is still destined to do so for those who did not pre-order it or who are waiting for it to come to their digital or indie store retailer or what have you, their Amazons or places of the world. But for those of us who decided to put their pre-order in early and let it cook and sit on the stove for a little while, the fine folks over at Vagrant Records said, hey, you want to get this record 3 weeks early? Well, we're not even really going to tell you. We're just going to send you a confusing email saying you have a shipping confirmation, and then make you wonder if it's some kind of glorious mistake someone has made where, oh, I get music way early, and then somebody screwed up, and somebody's going to be really mad. But alas, that is not the case. It was an intended move, which I suppose isn't alas. You wish them all the best in most of these things. And they have sent out this particular record 3 weeks early, which I am pretty excited about and want to talk to you guys a little bit about here in this video. Although, probably hold out a little bit longer on a review. We'll see how that boils down. But for today, we're going to unbox the latest, the sequel, the spiritual brother, sister, sister-in-law, something from a trailer. No, not really. We're going to talk about the spiritual successor to this man's prior album, which came out earlier this year, and was a pretty solid release in his latest. It was an album that had been held back due to some label fights and some concerns, and finally got to be out there in the form of Single Mothers. And in that packaging was an announcement that, hey, we'll be doing Absent Fathers starting in early January. But here it is today. And without any more of my babbling, let's get into this with Justin Townes Earle and his sequel release of Absent Fathers. Now, this is pretty much no frills, to the point in terms of a release, in terms of its production, its musicianship. It's very basic, it's to the point, there's not a lot to it. It's basically JTE, several of his bandmates, just like pedal steel guy, drums, some guitars, JT's acoustic playing, vocals. It's very much to the point, not a lot more to say than what needs to be said, and is right to it, which has worked very well for Justin. And I would say, after several listens to this record, it's one of those things that, while it's still not getting him to the point of where I was really wowed, like I was with Midnight at the Movies, Harlem River Blues, that kind of stuff, which really put him on the map, it's still that same sincerity, that same heart-pouring kind of guy who knows how to kind of pour it out and just let you feel it and let you feel what he's ruminating on and what he's all about. And this still does that. It's a great release, but at the same time, I don't know if I could see it holding up across the span of the year as one of the best. I think it's solid, it's middle of the pack, no more, no less, but a solid and an entertaining listen. Now, on the front here, of course, is the cover, which started perplexingly with Single Mothers, given that it had a young musician named Sammy Brew out of Nashville that JTE is very close with, who kind of played a child version of himself along with this other girl, and it was like a child versions of himself and his wife. Now it's JTE with wife here. And on the back side, you have them photographed from the other direction. And songs like Farther From Me, At Least I Got the Blues, and early previews of songs kind of come full fruition here with songs like Call You Mama, When the One You Love Loses Faith. Hadn't really heard a lot of any of the other ones that he was doing, but songs like Looking for a Place to Land and Day and Night and Round the Bend is really nice. Really, there's really nice stuff kind of buried within the fold here. And more people will start to hear this soon as digital files and such were all released and dropped by Kings Road and the whole merch handling company today. So that's very intriguing here. But to get inside, as I've already gone on sufficiently about all the rest of that, we have a nice little liner here with a rose on it. On the other side, we have the thank yous. Jen Marie Earle, Joshua Black Wilkins, Recording King Guitars, Vagrant Records, everyone at Bloodshot Records, in what continues to be the most amiable relationship that a record label has ever had with its artists. Everybody loves Bloodshot. They're awesome. Kudos to those guys. Musicians, like I said, Paul Niehaus, guitar, pedal steel, bass, Mark Hedman, drums, Matt Pence, vocal, acoustic guitar, Justin Townes Earle. That's it. Right to the point. Right, what you see is what you get, and that works. Credits, production, all that stuff, words, lyrics, the usual fare. And otherwise, you get a little download card here, which does not work yet. Though, like I said, the digital versions were emailed today. And inside you have kind of a classic looking, plain sort of a deal with this Justin Townes Earle 10-inch, 12-inch, whatever it is. You know what you're getting into here with this particular release. So that is just about it for my coverage of Justin Townes Earle with Absent Fathers, as I got a little bit rattled there by a phone call, but we're good. And that is it for this little unboxing video here today. Excuse the rust and kind of getting a little bit wacky in this return here to video making. But we're going to get a little bit better and a little bit more in the groove again as we get on here. And there's going to be some really good stuff coming up for year-end lists. So stay tuned for that, because that is what is coming next. Going to start working on that this weekend into next week. We're going to start getting a breakdown of albums, top 10 albums, best songs, that kind of stuff. Whatever may happen to come up, and we will go from there. But keep it here, guys, and stay tuned.